Okay, so I need to leave here very briefly at 7:15. And so what I'll do is I'll make Dominic the
Yeah.
co-host.
Yep.
I'm so weird. Everyone was sort of floating in space.
Let's see. Oh, let's try multi-speaker view and see what happens. All right, so, because Dominic will want to share anyway.
Yep.
Let's see, so. Why does it all look different? Make co-host. If we have a meeting now. Good stuff.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why this beeps at me for this meeting, but anyway. Okay. Or you can stop now. I don't know how to turn it off. Let's see. Do we have any,
Are we expecting Brad, Dale, or?
Molly? So we have a quorum already. And,
But if you leave, we don't.
oh, if we leave, well,
Mhm.
all right, so we'll start messaging those people. Um, um,
Recording in progress.
Okay.
Whoa,
Yeah.
technology is.
Hi,
developing a
everybody.
life of its own.
Let's see, oh, good, there's Elisa.
Evening.
Yeah. Um,
And actually.
It's not me. It's you.
it's to be you. Meeting all pro, let's try it now. It doesn't seem to be doing that now. Okay, so you seem okay. All right. So actually, Elaine, I'm gonna make you host.
Okay.
And Dominic is the co-host so that he can share. Is
Okay.
that good, Dominic? Does anybody else need to share, or are you gonna be the one sharing?
That's good for me, Marianne.
All
Thank you.
right. Okay, I'm gonna text Molly. I texted Brad. Okay, Brad can't make it tonight.
That's right.
Okay.
He had said
All
that.
right, okay.
And what
Uh,
about Dale?
Dale, I
I'll-
haven't heard from.
I'll text Dale. After I text Molly.
Okay.
And we can start because we have a quorum right now.
Correct.
Okay,
All right, so I'm gonna call this meeting to order at 7:02. And look for any public comments. Is there a public and do they have a comment? There is no public, right?
I don't see anyone.
I don't either. We're boring. Nobody wants to look at us anymore. Man, we used to have so many people come and now nobody comes. Get down to the nitty gritty. I'm only
I won't
teasing,
put that
trust me, I'm
in the
only
spot.
teasing.
You better be careful with doing it.
Okay, so, let's see, the minutes. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes of October 15th?
I make a motion that we approve the minutes of October 15th.
I do have one very.
Wait a minute, I
Okay.
need a second.
Okay.
I need a second.
I'll second.
Okay, now you may.
Dale's here.
Dale's here, great.
Yeah.
We have a
So
much better form.
I heard back from Stephen and I think I came up with a satisfactory resolution. And again, I appreciate you looking at them. I did have one question in the minutes. It's very minor, but
It was done on the first page, the bottom of the first page.
Well,
Did I
there
get
were-
it A and B right?
right. And, you know, in the end, doesn't really matter.
Mhm.
You selected one of the papers, right?
Mhm.
Okay. And then the other question was, somebody seconded a motion, and I don't know who it is, and I don't have the recording. I can't find the recording.
No, neither could I.
So I gave it to Grace, but I
Right.
will send both of you the recording
Okay,
too.
so,
After this meeting.
Okay.
Okay.
so we can approve them and just say the motion was seconded?
Which one was it?
And I thought I had, Quackenbush made a motion to select window cladding in Eldridge gray and, metal roofing in Tin Lizzy. Blank, seconded. Does anyone remember seconding? Oh, it was Dalmas, okay, thank you, right?
It says Delma seconded right there.
Yeah, okay, okay, then I believe everything has been fixed.
Great. All right, roll call vote, please.
Antonellis, aye.
Almost,
Uh,
Cool, hi.
Jake's eye.
Paleo abstained because I was not here. Okay. Moving right along. Let us an update on the building project. Would you like to do it, Dominic or Neil?
Or Roger.
Or Roger? There's Roger's there.
I can do it.
Go ahead, take it away, Roger.
As probably most of you have seen if you've driven by, or noticed that foundation is complete and they're complete with the below slab plumbing. They're almost finished probably tomorrow with the below slab electrical conduits. Um, so following that, they'll begin placing some more fill to get that up to the bottom of the slab elevation, which should be this week, and expecting that the formwork subs will be on by the end of the week to begin forming the slab. So the concrete floor slab should be sometime next week. I think that's a little later than they were hoping for. Electrical work has taken a little longer than they were hoping. But the good news is, with the weather, they've been able to do more site work than they anticipated. So some things that might have been done in the spring are done now. The detention basins are formed. They began this week spreading topsoil around them, possibly seeding this week or next. Hopefully that will allow for early germination in the spring. And following the slab, they'll begin framing.
Didn't you say framing was gonna start this Wednesday?
Yeah, so they're behind.
So they're
Yeah,
more
they've
than,
kind
they're
of
2
lost the
weeks
week they
behind.
had hoped they had made up, but
Okay,
on the back end, they got some more site work done. So
okay.
Roger, do you have power in your, trailer yet?
we got power last week. And the good news is the toilet company was there today, so the bathroom is now functioning. And right away
you have-
last week, the I forget their name, but we got cable all set up and running last week also. So in good shape there. We can
Nice.
do phone in meetings and hybrid. People need to call in for a job meeting or something. We can accommodate that on site now.
Excellent, and Concom came out last week?
Yep, Concom came out for a site visit last week and walked the perimeter. So they had come out a couple of weeks before that and found a couple of places where the screening had fallen down a little bit, or where when they took roots and stuff, there were some holes under the screening, and so they repaired all of that. They put up some caution tape along the pathway out to the well location on the south side, as the Conservation Commission had requested. And so they did, so Concom came out to inspect it again. And things, when we were on site, there were two commissioners there and they both seemed to be satisfied with what they saw. They're planning to come back again next Tuesday. So they're planning to come out for a site visit every 2 weeks. Until
Until you start doing the interior.
right, until, exterior work isn't happening. So next Tuesday at 1 o'clock, Roger, is the next Concom site visit.
Okay, any other updates to report? Okay, then let's, I had there reviewing exterior and interior finish features, but it was just interior, correct? Have we,
I think Dominic has one change to the exterior that he wants to bring up.
okay,
And then we were gonna talk about flooring choices again. And then let's see what else Dominic brings up.
okay, Dominic, take it away.
Great, thank you very much. Let me just share my screen here. All right, can everybody see this?
Yes.
Great. So Elise and I wanted to join the meeting today just to review two specific items. The first is exterior related to paving. Previously, if I jump to this slide, we had approved two selections for two different types of pavers in the zones shown here. So here we're looking at a landscape plan. We can see 3 entry and exit locations around the building, and we had paver A and B assigned to the entry here, and paver A and B for the rear exit of the building. Paver A was going to take the adults exit pathway here. So if I jump to the next slide, these were all Hanover pressed pavers. We had selected the limestone gray as paver B and charcoal as paver A. I'm sorry that in this is an old slide and it was actually reversed. So the charcoal was paver B, was going to highlight the entry condition here, and then the limestone gray was going to take the area of paver A. So I discussed this with our landscape architect, and they felt they had concerns about the contrast between the charcoal and the limestone gray. They thought for the scale of the project and what we were trying to achieve here, they felt that the charcoal was too much of a contrast to that limestone gray. And they recommended to the group that we revise this so that we only use the limestone gray throughout the whole project. That would result in what they felt, and we discussed it in our office as well, and we tend to agree. I spoke to Matt Odens about this, that it would offer a cleaner kind of resolution of entry. Initially, this scheme had been proposed by Stimson to articulate entry and to carry scope so that they could do that. And the committee's decision to go with the charcoal was understandable. There was a nice contrast between the two. We discussed a few different options, and we felt that the lighter tones felt not strong enough of a move, but coming from the landscape architects, they felt that this was too much of a contrast. And again, the scale of the entry, it's a very bold move, and they recommended that we just go with the limestone gray. So we come to the group today to see if we could get your recognition of that, and then a vote to see if we could change paver B to the paver A, to the limestone gray throughout the project. We are also going to have the limestone gray paver engraved by donation. And we were initially thinking that that zone could be here. I think we should keep that zone. I think that's a great idea. But again, you know, use just the one paver throughout. So that's all I had for the exterior. It was specifically for the pavers.
Okay,
And
let me get a reaction from the committee here.
A great idea.
I think I tend to agree with him, then, because I think the two areas are too small to have two different colors, kind of like one color to unify the whole thing.
Dale?
Well, I think Dominic warned us the last time that the charcoal was probably not gonna fly. So, and then I'm not at all surprised that we're hearing this, and I'm fine with it.
Molly?
I wasn't at the last discussion, but I agree that having two colors is probably a bit much because of the scale.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
Agreed. Well, we're easy with that. Oh, the architect, I'm sorry.
I would prefer just having the one.
Okay. All right.
And
we're gonna-
limestone is,
Is limestone okay with everyone?
Yes.
Yep.
Yep. Yep. All right. So it is.
Right. Thank you very much, everybody. I appreciate the reconsideration for this. I think it'll make for a better end result. So that's excellent. We will convey that to the GC, and we'll go ahead and have them start the submission process for this and make sure that we've got enough stock. And when we need it, I'm going to coordinate with Marianne and Elaine on the engraving names. I think we have till the end of the month, the 25th, something like that. And we'll submit that to the GC to get
The
that.
25th of November.
Correct. I believe, is that right? It was near the end
Yes.
of this month.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes, so we need to really,
I had no idea. I thought
yeah,
we
I
had
didn't know
till
there was a
January.
deadline.
what did you say?
I didn't know what the deadline was.
Yeah, we had said that we were gonna let them know by, November, the end of November, I think at our last, meeting, we had
Yeah.
said that.
I just talked with Marianne about, pushing this at the holiday shop in December.
Okay,
How
well,
many papers do we have?
Not nearly enough.
we don't have many at all, but I think all of us were kind of
I hadn't done mine yet.
forgotten, I haven't done mine yet either,
Yeah,
so.
right.
I think I'll talk to, we
So,
can
so
bring-
I understood when I talked with the woman at Hanover that we did not have to put our order in with the contractor.
Oh, that's true, because
We
if they're
had- we
all the
had-
same, if they're all the same color, they will do the engraving.
Right, and they'll just ship them at the same time, but it's a separate order. I think we have.
Yes, it was going to be paid for by the contract. So CDI, Construction Dynamics, we're going to coordinate this for us via the submittal process. My sense is that we have some room for flexibility. That deadline, as I understand it, Roger, correct me if I'm wrong, came from Construction Dynamics. We may have simplified this manufacturing or at least engraving process by going to a single paver. So we can help coordinate with Marianne and Construction Dynamics. Roger, that's
I think we
correct.
had sort of, and I'm not sure if it was Construction Dynamics asking for the number by the 26th, or
Right.
it just being a agreeable date that we thought we could let them know by. Again,
Can that be discussed?
we'll find out
again?
if it really makes a difference for them, but it's the total quantity that really makes a difference for them, and it's just a matter of how it's retained or shipped to the site. So we'll find out.
Right.
If Construction Dynamics is ordering them and we're just ordering the engraving part of it.
Hmm. I mean, that's
It's-
not what I understood
Okay,
from talking with
we'll talk
Hanover.
about that on Monday with with them and see,
We haven't gotten the word out to the larger community.
no, not
Not
yet,
in a big way.
not in a
no.
big way, we've gotten it out, but not in a big way, so,
Yeah.
we're gonna run
We need
into,
to work on that.
yep,
Yeah, it's just difficult because there are two other fundraisers going on at the
Is
same,
there a
at the
townwide
same time.
newsletter coming out soon?
It just came out, and it was in there.
It was in there?
yes,
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
So also, just to let you know as well, the intent of the contract with Hanover Pavers is so that over time you can still reach out to them and have engraving done over time, right? There will always be opportunity for donors to contribute to the project in this way. And then typically it's done in batches. So you get a batch of 5 or a batch of 10. And then they do that for you. They'll deliver it on site, and then you can lift what has been installed and replace with engraved pavers. So it's definitely something that's definitely not a hard stop date, as
Right.
far as engraving can continue on for years through the Hanover system. So they do the engraving in-house.
Right, but we'd want the bulk of them in the beginning, because otherwise we're gonna be left with lots of, blank pavers.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll build a
So-
patio.
Yeah. So Marianne, how about I reach out to Don at Construction Dynamics and at least be prepped for Monday's meeting, and then we may already find out that we have a greater grace period anyway. So I'll let you and Marianne know.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Marianne stepped out of the room for a few minutes. She had to
No
go
worries.
to another meeting.
Okay. So that concludes pavers specifically. I wanted to move on then to some interior floor finishes. I'm not sure if Marianne was able to bring some samples to the meeting.
Yes, we have the sample of palladium, spice, and the carpeting that is the new one that you gave
Yeah.
her.
Great. So I
these
think
are the ones over here that everyone has seen and didn't like, I heard. And these are new ones.
yeah, we coordinated with Marianne. Hopefully in front of you, you have the curated. So I'm showing you a screen here of 2 options. Option 1 was selected by the committee at the last meeting. And at the end of that meeting, there was talk or discussion about an in-between shade or color lightness, an in-between color grade between light and dark. And so Elisa and I knew that both the Heartthrob and the Resilient Flooring offers other samples. And so we made some selections that we feel addresses your concerns. Initially, the Palladium was voted on as the Resilient Flooring throughout the library as the main Resilient Flooring treatment. And it was felt that it was still a little bit too dark. We had another option that was too light. And so we've come back to you with an in-between selection, the Dharma Air. And so
this is Air. Oh, she had them mixed up.
I think this is the one that,
This is the Palladium and this is the Air. She has these mixed up.
I prefer that one.
Yeah, we're looking at them on the table right now.
Great. That's great. The representation on the screen is an approximation, so I'm glad that you've got the samples in front of you. So to pair against the Air, the Dharma Air Resilient Flooring, we felt that the Heartthrob Misty, which is slightly lighter than the Heartthrob Pros, we feel like they work better together.
Yeah. You're saying Misty and Air and Spice?
So put Spice aside for the second. That is an accent that we were considering for children's. So just to frame the conversation or to start the conversation, I just wanted to discuss the main resilient flooring selection that's going to be in the meeting room, lobby, main circulation space. So air is the resilient flooring is to be paired with Misty, the carpet. That'll be on the back of those carpets. And that is option 2. Previously, we had voted on Palladium, the resilient flooring, with Pros, the carpet. And you'll notice that they're a little bit darker.
It's heartthrob. They're all heartthrob.
They're all heartthrob.
They're all heartthrob.
Is that Rose?
Pros,
Yeah.
sorry.
Okay, that's pros. So this is Palladium and
Pros.
pros for the original.
That's
that you
correct.
Decided
We
on.
didn't have this last time. This is the one we asked for a sample of.
The Misty in the air.
The palladium, you didn't bring the palladium last
Did
time.
you have the dog ash?
No. Well, yes, we
What's
have,
that one?
And this is an elephant.
Elephant.
This is an
Yeah.
elephant.
We
Probably
Yeah.
too dark.
yes. So
And
those
this is the kind of bluish in it, the
Yes.
air.
yeah.
Yeah.
So those other samples that you have with you right now, we didn't want to bring those into the mix here. Considering that we had already voted on the Palladium Pros as the best solution.
we did not, we requested a sample of the palladium at the last meeting. We haven't seen it before. According to the notes, we talked about ash and the notes say a sample of palladium was requested.
Oh,
So
I
you
was
have-
under the impression that we had it in the images. So
Right.
Yeah, the
I-
image is not.
We did not
show
have
what
an
it looks
actual
like.
sample and we do now.
okay. So you'll get a sense that the Palladium is slightly darker than the air. And there was a
Yeah.
comment from the group that there's a fleck in this resilient flooring, and that fleck is a little bit more articulated in the air, right? There's a slight greater contrast.
You're working on it. I think.
Yeah.
Not from more than 2 feet.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
It's very subtle. I think the greater move was to go lighter because there was a sense that the Palladium was a little bit too dark in those
No,
spaces.
We didn't see palladium,
We didn't
remember?
discuss the palladium last time.
I think ash is too dark.
Yes, ash is definitely too dark.
You had proposed, ash last time. And at that point, we requested to see palladium because we felt like ash was too dark. And we said we'd like to defer the choice until we saw both palladium and we had looked at furniture.
Did you guys come to an agreement about carpet or are we looking at a different, are we choosing that now too?
This is new.
Okay, you hadn't seen that before?
This was new as well.
Of the 3 samples. So what is this one now again?
Pros.
This is pros.
Yep.
So pros is new, yes?
Pros and Palladium had been brought to the committee last time.
Oh,
And per Penny's
Nope.
comment, you hadn't seen Palladium. I was under the impression you had.
no, you sent Marianne a sample after that meeting, and most people haven't seen it until tonight.
Right.
Maybe,
That was the Misty and Air, which you have in front of you. These were the 2 that we added.
I like pros and I like it with palladium.
I do too.
What do you recommend?
I like pros and palladium too.
Yeah, actually, they exist together better than these 2, I
I
think.
agree.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's warmer.
I'm fine.
Yeah, we're not,
But Marianne needs to weigh in because she will be looking at it the
Marianne
most.
needs to weigh in.
It's okay with the palladium as well.
Yeah, the air and Misty don't seem to
Bring us joy.
bring us joy.
Yeah,
Okay, that's great.
There's too much of a contrast there, not
Yeah.
enough of a compliment.
And
Well,
there's,
and
These-
from a practical
is a comp-
standpoint,
These two complement
they
each other.
complement each
This will
other.
show less on this.
This is gonna be a better carpet for,
For so many
traffic.
reasons.
for traffic,
Mhm.
yeah. The pros is definitely gonna be better for traffic.
I mean, I could spill my coffee on that and rub it in a little bit, it would be fine.
But you couldn't spill your coffee
But I
on
couldn't spill my
Misty.
coffee on Misty.
No.
How about your grape juice?
There is no grape juice allowed in the library.
Okay. Only apple juice?
We have apple juice and white wine, at least in my library.
So Dominic, are you okay with these?
We are on board with both selections, and we wanted to just make sure we met, the concerns from the last meeting. So we
that's-
just wanted.
So why bring spice?
So
We looked at that.
we looked at let me go quickly to the plan here. Just wanted to highlight here. So we have resilient flooring throughout most of the library spaces, meeting room, lobby, circulation, and teens work staff area. Then we have carpet in the adults. And then in the children's and the study room, we own a change in color. And what we wanted to was highlight specifically the children's space with a different color choice. So we showed at the last meeting a bunch of different color options. We, as a group, decided that the spice was probably the better of the color options. And there are different ways that we can now treat the children's room with this variation in color. We could do a wholesale change and just have the spice in the general area and the two smaller adjacent spaces. Or we could go with the original with the palladium.
Yes.
Or we could do palladium in the larger of the children's spaces and then highlight spice in the smaller adjacent spaces. So if we go to another view here, we can run through how that might look. So again, complete treatment or none at all. We go with in this option here, we're still holding on to color on the walls, and the color on the walls will do a lot to brighten the space up. But we could also do this.
I think the space is too small for that.
Agreed.
And spice is not interesting enough for that.
Yes, yeah, right, places.
I mean, spice is, I think, fine if you have it in a big area, but I think just by itself, it's in those small alcoves, I think, meh.
So we're thinking palladium for all of it.
I would put palladium in throughout.
Yeah.
It's far enough from the community room and the lobby that I don't think it matters that you're repeating a color.
No,
You're
it
gonna
doesn't. It can have its own identity for sure with how we treat the walls, and it is
Sure.
a very
And the
unique space.
Sure,
The
and
view-
everything.
Right, the
We can
view out is going to be a major player to the space. Let me go to that was the palladium.
Be less money if we don't add the third color, I believe.
We own a second color, so I think to your point, this transition is a little unconventional when it's not at an actual threshold. So normally you would have a doorway to then help delineate this change, and it feels a little bit awkward, especially programmatically having chairs here, and you would have a bit of spill out of programmatic use of this space, and this line is slightly jarring to that. And so I think let's go to the correct view.
Definitely agree. I think
So if we do this, right, there's a uniformity there.
That looks a lot better.
Yeah.
Yep.
So per Mary Ann's consent, we're going with pros and palladium.
Pros and palladium, yeah.
Yep.
Throughout, yes.
Great.
No spice. No spice.
We're not spicy.
No.
Heading towards banana.
That's great. That's a decisive
course,
committee.
And has to weigh in with the final.
No.
That's what she wants.
I know. I know.
Yes.
I believe she is going to be fine with.
Yeah.
I'm
Was there
pretty sure.
something else that we needed to?
That
Is there
was it
any-
from me. That was it. For I just wanted to bring those to you. We're going to return submittals to the GC and allow them to continue with those selections in mind. So thank you very much.
Is this considered a change order?
No,
No.
no. It's with it. So we were able to get the basis for design. So during design, we had preferences that those products were the basis for design as selected by the committee. We had to make 2 other selections to give to the subcontractor. They selected what we wanted. And so we are within the families of the carpet and resilient flooring that was submitted in the base contract. So we're all
Hey,
set.
Marianne, we're going with Spice and Misty.
With,
No, no.
Cayenne, which isn't here in the children's here.
Okay,
No,
I
we,
got my funding from the finance committee, so I
okay,
hope you behaved while you were down here.
we
So,
did.
okay,
So we
all right.
decided to go with that pending your approval.
okay,
We were going to go with palladium throughout
okay,
and pros.
okay. Alrighty,
How do you feel?
I make a motion that we go with palladium throughout and pros, if that's what those two are.
That's what they are.
Okay.
I'll second that motion.
All right,
Any further discussion?
Well, it's good.
Roll call vote.
Antonellis, aye.
Down the side.
Cool eye.
who seconded?
I did.
A player, sorry.
Well, oh,
I.
Moss eye.
Crack motion.
Paleo, aye.
And then are we doing just the one color paver?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Favorite.
Limestone?
Okay,
Limestone.
yeah, okay,
Delightful.
great. Okay, good. All
All
right, that
right.
works. Okay.
You don't even need.
That was
Yeah.
very efficient. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.
Was that it?
All right.
That was it
Is-
from Elisa and I. Yes.
Hey, is there any other unanticipated business?
Wait. Are you gonna close the meeting? I have questions.
I have a question.
That's what I have. Are there any other unanticipated business?
Yes.
We have- Thank you. Bring it up.
I would like to just remind everyone that the turkey trot is not this Saturday, but the following Saturday.
Yes,
And if you're not signed up, I hope you volunteer.
Who signed it?
signed up.
Who signed it?
Okay,
Signed up.
okay.
Can you review the status of those grants you were going after or additional funding?
So the MVP grant and,
Yes, we can let.
okay, alrighty, so a new town administrator started today, an interim town administrator. And she and I have an appointment next Tuesday to talk about the MVP grant.
Which comes up?
So that's the one, that's the
vulnerability that's
municipal
gonna
vulnerability,
Give us the panels, but also the truck.
right, but anyway, a truck's not gonna work and it doesn't seem like a on-site battery is gonna work, so. I'm gonna talk to Gabe, I think at 2 o'clock, I made an appointment for 1 o'clock, but I have a conflict, so I emailed her to see if I could change it to 2. To make a strategy of checking and seeing if we can change it to just a generator. And so that'll be, so she and I will discuss it, maybe Elaine will come with me and then we'll make a call to the MVP folks. And then the other is the congressionally directed funds from the federal government. And I got a call from Jim McGovern's office and they are gonna try and hang on to it. So,
What does that mean? That sounded,
well, they had a question. So Jim McGovern's office wanted to know, were we applying for 2 $250,000 grants or just one, so I clarified that it was just one, and he said that's good, that makes it easier. And that the three offices are gonna work together to try and keep it, and then, so a budget has to pass
Right.
with it in it, and so I just saw today, they're gonna start talking about it, we haven't had a budget, a settled budget for a while. They're talking about a budget now, of course, some people in Congress wanna pass a budget now, and others wanna wait until the next administration. So they would do another continuing resolution, which if it stays in that continuing resolution, then it continues to be a possibility.
But it's
So-
not gonna be, and it's not gonna be finalized until there's a budget. Continuing resolutions don't give
Right,
us anything
Right.
but reading.
but, and hope, right.
Yes. Mhm.
So it's not, that's still out there
Right,
dangling, so we've got two things dangling,
right.
so, yeah. So Molly and Penny and I think that's the group, went and looked at furniture at a place in Connecticut, some place that sells library furniture, that probably has a name. RH Lord, and we, so we've got a quote on shelving, that is, about $136,000 installed. And they are working on the breakdown of, so shelving is an eligible cost, and the installation of the shelving is probably an eligible cost. But end caps and tops on shelving are not eligible costs. So they're working on breaking down that, so we know what are eligible costs and what are ineligible costs, so we know the implications of that. And then they're working on, so they sell everything to furnish a library, and so we looked at chairs, different style chairs and different style tables, and they're working on pulling together quotes for those kinds of things. And we saw some flip top tables for the meeting room, which I think, flip top tables on casters for the meeting room, which I think are one of the most important things that we should buy. I think we should buy shelving and we should get these flip top tables so that the library director doesn't have to lift heavy tables and carry them around. They can push them on the casters and then flip the top. And,
You don't want a lightweight table that you can carry around.
right, because,
anything.
no, we want good sturdy tables. So anyway, we got the dimensions of those tables so that they can, see how they fit in the storage room. Heather has her hand up.
Yes, Heather.
Yes, I just, my little dispensing piece of advice on flip top tables is if you can actually get your hands on one and experience the mechanism before you buy it. Because I have seen and heard of tables that come down very hard and heavy, and also tables where you would think it should be easy to figure out what lever to pull, and it's not.
Right, yes, yeah, no, I used the flip top table. in the show
Excellent.
And was satisfied and thought I would probably remember how to do it.
No,
yeah.
we also, when we were at MHGC, we saw some of the tables that Heather's talking about.
That's right,
Yeah.
yes.
We didn't know
Right.
how to.
Because Elaine and Penny and Molly and I also went to the MHEC Expo and sat in a lot of chairs and looked at a lot of flip top tables. So the ones that RH Lord had, were, operated easily, seemed really good and sturdy, and seemed like they would stack nicely. And then they got the dimensions. Did they get you the dimensions, Dominic and Elisa? So we can see how they'll fit in the meeting room?
Yeah, Lisa's been working with a vendor to get exact nesting dimensions.
Yep.
So that we're working on that. Yep.
Okay, yeah, good, all right. Good.
Okay, anything else?
Oh, Monday's meeting, is it on speak or is it Zoom?
Roger, are you still here? I
Yes.
lost track. Are we in person or on Zoom on Monday.
I think we're on Zoom or virtual because Don requested that. I think he's not gonna, you're not gonna be there, Marianne, correct?
No,
And I
no,
think
I'm not
Don
gonna be
wasn't.
there, that's right.
And Mark is not gonna be there.
Mark's not there this week, he'll be back
Yes,
next
Mark will
week,
be back. If, hold on just a second, I'll check the email.
the schedule. I think it's the following,
The schedule, we never got a final.
right, because
Right.
Mark doesn't wanna have two in-person project meetings on the same day. So. You're checking the schedule, Dom?
I'm checking the
Roger.
schedule.
Okay.
Yeah, I sent out the email, but
Yep,
Okay.
11/11 is no meeting, 11/18 is on site. 11/25 is virtual. 12/2 is virtual. 12/9 is on site. And the MBLC will be giving a progress visit.
That's on 12/9.
12/9, yep, and 12/16 is virtual, 12/23 is virtual, and 12/30 is on site. I will send this to.
So that works,
Jeff.
okay.
Yeah,
What's the
Jeff,
answer to my question?
what?
Monday.
The answer Monday is on site,
On site?
on site, on the
So,
18th,
you and me,
yes,
I'm gonna put a big decision.
we're gonna make all the big decisions.
Damn.
Damn, we're going with spice.
Why not?
The spice is growing on me, but
No, it looks like a doctor's office.
That's what I said.
Pediatrician's
A
office.
pediatrician's office.
They'll start throwing up on it.
I will say that it only took us 2 meetings, to choose the flooring, and I think that's remarkable. And I hope that over in the Odinzello office, they're talking about how awesome we are.
We are. We certainly are. Decisive committees. Yeah, impressive.
Yeah, okay.
Pretty quick.
Two.
All right.
Okay, is there anything else?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
When is our next meeting?
Our next meeting will be December. Do we want it to be December 10th or 17th?
Yeah,
10,
10, closer,
10.
that's a month
10.
from now.
That's the second, okay,
That's the second
all right.
Tuesday, so we will have our
Okay.
meeting on December 10th.
And my
Okay.
last question is, have we paid bills? Where are we? I feel like I'm clueless
bills.
about the money end of this at this point.
We paid bills, we paid 2 invoices, about 800,000.
800,000.
Well,
That's a lot of muffins.
yeah. So you know what? So did I send out the schedule to everybody?
The schedule
No.
is what?
Like, all right, so after this meeting, before I go home, I'll send out the schedule and it has the drawdown schedule in the very last line. And it shows about how much we'll be paying the contractor on a monthly basis. And so far, we've only paid 1 bill, but you've approved the second one. Yeah. And so, right, and let's see, Neil sent, a payment letter that Elaine and I will approve. And so what we'll do is at the next meeting,
When?
since we've
Oh,
been in this.
just now.
Yeah, just now. So at the next meeting, we'll get that payment letter before the meeting. Okay, Neil, do you think we can do that so that we can give a report? Because we will want to review it.
Yes,
before.
Mary Ann, I send them out as quickly as I get the invoices that go on them.
I know you do. And we did just get one from Dominic today, I think.
Right.
Okay. So anyway, we'll give a report of where we are up until then. If we haven't gotten a new one, we won't include it, okay?
So you'll get a report in December.
Yes.
About expenditures.
Up until that date that we know
Okay.
of. And then I will send out that schedule, that construction schedule to everybody so that you can see the anticipated drawdown.
And we've only, so far, we've approved 2 changes,
Okay.
Right,
one to credit.
Okay.
okay.
Now, did we receive the report yet from the OPM? Are we supposed to get monthly reports?
Are we supposed to get monthly reports from the OPM?
Question, are we supposed to give you monthly reports? Would you, well, let me say it this way, would you like a monthly report?
We talked about that.
Yes,
Months ago.
yes, we would.
Okay, we'll put one together,
Thank
Okay,
you.
all right,
no problem.
okay. All
Why don't
right,
you put that on your list of things to do?
Will do.
Roger. Okay, all right. Okay, good, all right. And then Roger, when you talked about what was happening on the site, so the electrician is a little bit behind, but earlier today you talked about some of the things that I don't remember you mentioning that the septic tank was installed. Did you mention that earlier tonight?
No.
I don't think I mentioned it tonight, so the septic tank arrived today and was installed. And they're anticipating that the storm drainage, the storm scepter structures will arrive tomorrow. And they could be installed tomorrow.
Okay.
Great.
So there's so even though the electrician is behind and the slab foundation or slab is behind, other things are happening. You know, like the stormwater management, there's a lot that's been happening there. Yeah,
But the slab is actually critical to getting the complete.
I agree. Yes,
Yep.
yeah, you can't start
If
framing it.
you wanna get things closed in by winter, that's critical.
Yes.
Yep.
I stare across the street and I glare over at them.
I'll join the glare.
Okay. And I try to stay out of it.
Can
Okay,
you pour cement once the temperatures get,
Pardon?
can you pour cement?
Concrete.
Concrete, okay, sorry.
Does
Yeah.
it take longer to cure or no?
You can insulate, you can do different things in different
Huh?
when it gets colder. Yeah. Warming mats.
okay,
It's basically have to cover it.
yes. Yeah,
Thank you.
okay.
I have no more questions.
You have no more questions. Does anybody else have any more questions? Good?
I'm good.
You're good?
I'm good.
Everybody else on screen is good? I don't see any hands up. All right. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I move that we adjourn, so I can,
Antonella's eye.
on the side,
Pool eye.
Jake's eye.
I can go home.
Paleo, aye. The meeting has been adjourned as of 7:52. Thank you all.
Wow.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Good night.
everyone. Take care.
Bye.
All right,
You're all.
thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Have a great Thanksgiving.
Have a nice Thanksgiving,
Yes.
everyone.
Thanks, Elaine.